What's the business of banking, right? I give them my deposit in a savings account. They take all of that money, right? They're keeping zero of it in reserves. You can go Google this. The reserve requirement for federal banks is 0%, meaning they can keep none of the deposits. They loan those deposits out and they put them in markets and they trade and they invest. They put the money at risk to earn a return. They put my money at risk. It's not like it was theirs. They took my deposit and your deposit and they loaned it to someone else on a car or a credit card or a mortgage, or worse yet, they took it and they put it in foreign currency trading. Okay, JP Morgan Chase in quarter four of 2020, their most profitable quarter ever, and their number one source of profit was foreign currency trading. That is literally what a hedge fund does. Okay, there was an act, I think it was called Glass-Steagall. It was an act issued by Congress that allowed banks to take people's money and put that in the stock market and trade, put it in foreign currency and trade. Like, if you're going to put my money at risk, like, I don't like it either way, but I would rather have you do it with a mortgage. Right? Charge the guy 4%, use my money, at least it's secured by a house. Like, I don't have any control over it once you stick it in the market. I don't have control over with the mortgage, but you see what I'm saying? At least there's some security there. Okay. So the business model of the bank, I give them my deposit. They take that money, they go invest it, they loan it out, they make interest, right? And they pay me what? 0.24%. Let's look at some math here. Okay. What kind of rate of return is this? Okay. So I put in, let's say I put in $100,000. And they're going to pay me 0.24% per year. Okay, that's almost 2.5%, right? Like that means per dollar that I'm putting in, they're paying me a quarter of a penny. Right? Like I'm not getting a lot of money on this. So I'm putting in $100,000. I'm getting 0.24%. I'm going to pay taxes on this, by the way, that interest income. And then they're taking my money and they're doing what? Let's say that they're doing a mortgage and they're charging someone, this 100,000, they're charging someone else 6% on. Okay. Now we might look at this and say, well, 6%, that's not a huge return. I could go make more. True. But when you think about what's their actual investment here? Zero. They're using none of their own money. That means that this is an infinite rate of return. They're making 6% on 100,000 of my money, not their money. They put $0 in. Zero. They fronted no capital. And they're going to make a 6% return on my $100,000. Now, their cost of doing this is 0.24%. So essentially, they're borrowing my money, paying me 0.24% a year, and they're going to go make 6%. So let's look at the math on this, right? So 6 divided by 0.24. Okay, that's a 25x return. Also known as 250%. That's ridiculous. Okay, this is the business model of banking. So I'm the end user giving them my money. My benefit is I get 0.24% and I get a piece of paper that says, hey, if we lose all your money, the government will cover it with insurance. Well, that's awesome, but the insurance is funded by my taxes. So it's not like I'm actually getting a benefit there either. I'm just going to pay more in taxes. And then they're taking my money and making 6% on it, 25x return on their cost, 250%. And it's an infinite return because they didn't have any of their own dollars in the game. Do you see the issue with this system? Okay, let's look at Wall Street. What is their button? What is their system? Okay, so let's say I put $100,000 with Wall Street. At what rate of return? We don't know. They can't say. They guarantee nothing. They will tell you past performance is not an indicator of future expectations. We can't guarantee gains or losses. We can't guarantee anything. All we can tell you is we're going to put your money in the stock market. Right? So we don't know what we're going to make with this system. Nothing's guaranteed except one thing. Right? And that one thing is fees. Okay, so what is the business model of Wall Street? To collect as many fees as they can. Okay, now with every game, there's freedoms, barriers, and purposes, right? So with Wall Street, if I am Wall Street, what is my main purpose? To generate as much fee revenue as I possibly can. Okay. What is my freedom? I can go invest in the market, right? So that's going to be over here, invest in market. Okay. And then over here, we have the barrier. Okay. So what's the barrier? The barrier is that there are federal and state laws for Wall Street that if they break these laws, they can pay fines or go to prison. Okay. So that's the thing, is avoid fines and going to prison. So Wall Street's business model is to collect as many fees as they possibly can while investing in the market, while avoiding going to prison or paying more in fines than what they make in revenue. That's not a great business model for me, the consumer, right? Where is my benefit? It's the only thing that's a big question mark. Like, what am I getting out of it? They can't say. Go ask one. They'll tell you. I can't tell you. We can't tell you what you're going to get. Okay, but they can tell you we're going to invest it. They can tell you the rules, and they can tell you what their fees are. Right? So that's the business model there. Do you realize on this one in the bank, the consumer loses? Like, the consumer is getting the short end of the stick. Right? What about the IRS? What's their business model? Let's take a look at this one. Right? And I identify these because, again, these are the big three. These are the three groups that most people give their money to. So with the IRS, what is it that I'm getting here? Okay, I've got to look at, okay, well, on the IRS, they take my income, right? So I have income. Let's just draw out the flow here. Income goes to the IRS. So that what? I avoid going to prison, basically. And then they might give me a refund. Right? And then people celebrate when they get the refund. What actual service is being provided here? Okay, I talked to a client today on our tax planning. We're going to save him and his family over $40,000 in taxes this year. I'm going to say that again. We're going to save him over $40,000 in taxes. Okay, that means that the IRS is in the business of stealing his income. And when you get a refund, that's an overcharge. They're overcharging. They're taking more than they should have. That is actual theft, right? Like when someone takes more than they should have, that's stealing. Right? What service am I getting in exchange? Okay, we won't put you in jail. Okay, how is this any different than the mob? Right? You live in New York City in the 1970s or 80s, like, hey, we're going to give you protection. We're not going to beat you up and we're not going to hurt your family. You just have to pay us a little bit every month. Okay, and if you don't pay us a little bit every month, then you don't have our protection. And what does that mean? We're going to break your shop windows. We're going to pop your car tires. We're going to beat you in the alley. And as soon as you comply and pay us just a little bit of your income, it'll stop. How is this any different? The IRS, we're going to take your income. If you don't, what happens? We're going to take you to court. We're going to throw you in jail. We're going to fine you. Okay. But if you pay the taxes, you're protected from that. Right? We're going to overcharge you a little bit and give it back to you at the end of the year so you feel like you got something and you got a reason to celebrate. There's zero exchange here for the consumer. Okay. All of these are connected. The IRS, what function do they serve? They're actually the collection agency for the US Treasury. Right? So they collect money for the United States Treasury. The United States Treasury needs to collect money because they need to pay off the debt that they owe to the Federal Reserve Bank. Right? Who owns the Federal Reserve Bank? The US Treasury are they're a business partnership. They're a partner in this agency with the largest banks in the United States. So we've got banks. Now, banks own most of these Wall Street firms. If you look up a Wall Street firm, a lot of the biggest ones are owned by banks. Merrill Lynch, for example, owned by Bank of America. Right? Like, you can look this up. They're combined. Lots of them are combined. They're in business together. They're owned by the same people. It's a subsidiary of another company. Right? So when I look at this, I'm looking at, okay, so the IRS, banks, and Wall Street are basically all in business. Okay, and they're in the business of taking money from the consumer, from the American citizen, with almost zero exchange, especially with the IRS. There literally is no exchange. With banks, there literally is no exchange. With Wall Street, maybe you could say there's some because it's like, okay, I might make money on the investments, but here's the thing. Anything I could do with Wall Street, I could do by myself. I can go pick the same stocks. I can go on Vanguard and I can go set up my account for way less in fees. Now, I'm not advocating you should do that. I'm saying you should invest in what you like, understand, no trust, all of these things. Most people don't understand Wall Street, but I'm saying, what is the actual service being delivered? Okay. These are all middlemen. In my life, this is a middleman. The IRS is a middleman, right? They take my income, they give me a refund. For the average American, if they didn't have a refund, they would save no money. That's a middleman for a forced savings plan. Why don't I just save my own money? Okay, same thing with the bank. I put my money in the bank so I can keep it safe. It's not being kept safe, right? That's a middleman. They're taking it, they're investing it. They're doing all the things with my money that I should just do for myself, right? With Wall Street, same thing. I should just go invest myself. I can cut them out. Okay, so this is most people. I want you to realize this is most people the way that they do it, and they don't know that there's an alternative. So for me as a financial advisor, I was representing the IRS. I was representing banks. I was representing Wall Street. Okay, I didn't think of it that way because I was like, I have licenses and letters behind my name and I'm sophisticated. So I'm not a salesperson for banks and Wall Street. I'm a financial advisor. No. That's a distribution force for banks and Wall Street. Okay, it's a sales force. That's what that is. You distribute financial products and services. You either make a commission or you charge a fee. Right? You're a distribution source. That's it. Right? So when I realized that, I was like, well, I don't like these. I don't want to be invested in them. I don't want to represent them. What else is there? How else do I build wealth? How did the bank become the bank? How did the Wall Street firm become the Wall Street firm? That's what I wanted to know.
Hey, thanks so much for watching my channel. My name is Jerry Fetta. I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of Wealth Dynamics. So if this channel helped you, if the content helped you, I would like to ask you to help me back by clicking the subscribe button. Comment, like the video, share it with someone that could benefit from the information. I also want to invite you to get a free copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. If you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, you can grab a free copy there. You can also just click the link down in the description. And I hope to see you back on the channel again soon.